An abandoned house stop for a break.
So you might know this dude if you ride motorcycles and stealth camp at all. And my question is, do you know why he always seems to camp in abandoned houses? So I'm out riding around today talking about how I choose my stealth camping spots. I'm parked in front of an abandoned house. And if you watch Scooter Tramp Scotty at all, this is pretty much every camping spot he uses is something just like this. I'm a bit uneasy with abandoned houses for a number of reasons, but I want to walk around this one and talk about a few of my problems with camping, not only in abandoned houses, but private property in general. But you know, things like houses are somewhat touchy to some people, and this one's abandoned. It's clearly abandoned. It's not well taken care of. But you know, maybe somebody lives down the street that really cares about people being in their property. There's a house trailer right across the street here, but other than that, there's nobody on this road. There's a bunch of what do you call those plants? There's a bunch of production plants around in this area. Mercedes is on the other side of the interstate over here. Interstate's a few hundred yards away from here. So it's overall, this is a good area. This is a good spot. And I'll tell you why I think Scooter Tramp Scotty, or at least from what I've seen, why he likes these abandoned houses. Because a lot of times he can get into, I'm just now noticing this, but there's a carport here. He likes porches and carports and garages and things he can park his bike into. So I think that's one of his big motivators. And I think another issue with him is, like me, I've got that big freaking honking bike out there. It's kind of hard to get it in and get it out of the woods. So if you're looking at a place like this, you got a driveway. And not just that, we'll walk around the inside here shortly, but I want to talk about why I think Scotty loves these. He's been doing it so long, I think he's just kind of there's abandoned houses everywhere. Looks like somebody's been using this driveway, but maybe not since the leaves have been down. There's no leaves in this place. I'm the only one that's been through here. I mean, there could be somebody living in this house right now. So that's the other thing. Well, there's so many things about abandoned houses that I'm not a big fan of. Wow, this goes into the woods a good bit. Maybe there's some cool stuff back here. I don't know. It looks like maybe somebody's mowed the yard. Greenhouse back here. This is not a bad house. I wonder why. Probably just somebody, the owner died. Now the roof's falling in. The back door's open. It looks like somebody's mowed the grass back here. Maybe this is a good parking spot. I don't know. Yeah, there's just not a lot of leaves down back here. Wow, there's a shed back here. This is kind of a nice piece of property if it wasn't next to the interstate. Yeah. Geez, who knows what's back here. Yeah, I'm not going to walk around the whole property today. I just wanted to... I've driven by this several times. I'm curious about using abandoned houses. And I think Scotty has been doing it so long, he's got this network of houses that he uses. So he always knows where his little houses are that he can stop. And a lot of times he'll pull in the carport or covered parking. A lot of times I see him, he likes getting under big trees to keep the dew off of him. Keep the dew off of his tent. He tent camps, so there's quite a few differences in our technique. But I've learned a lot from Scotty. I'm not going to I'm not going to tell anybody that Scotty's wrong. I just want to talk about some of the things that make me uneasy about abandoned houses. The first thing, primarily, is you never know what you're going to find. Roll up to one of these houses. Clearly, somebody's been in these windows. Doesn't look like anybody's been in this property for a while, but you never know. You might roll up here and there's a angry homeless family living here. You know, could be guys dealing meth. I just don't like being around people. But this is one of the things that I think is cool about what Scotty does. This actually looks pretty good on the inside. A lot of the floors are caving in when the roof gives way. Dang, this was a decent house at one time. I bet I could pick it up cheap, redo the roof. Maybe not so much work on the inside. Well, so there's one of the problems is you never know what you're going to run up in here. You roll up in a place like this and there's meth, guys cooking meth, or something like that. I mean, these are just wild ideas in my head, but they're, I would say, borderline sensational, but you never know. It's a structure. But I'm pretty good at telling, most of the time I'm pretty good at telling whether or not somebody's been in here. It looks like it's been a while. It's been at least a few weeks because the leaves are down and nobody's crumpled over the leaves but me. But yeah, like I was saying, one of the things I really like about Scotty's tours of these abandoned homes, he likes to go through and go, hey, look at this and look at that, and here's what,
An abandoned house stop for a break. And I find this one a little interesting, and I'll show you guys why. We're in North Carolina. There's the old mule.
And he's got the same wonder and excitement about maybe it's archaeology, but yeah, like you wonder what happened. I've always wondered what happened in the old abandoned properties, which I guess there's a little bit of inclination for me to try one of these out. This would be a good one. I can get the bike underneath cover. I could probably hang my hammock from these two pillars right here or somewhere close. I guess the issue for me is somebody owns this property or owned this property, and it may be somebody that lives down the street, like these folks over here across the street. That may be his aunt's property, and they're going through probate or whatever. But regardless, I guarantee you this guy that lives over here, he's probably got a family, probably got kids. He doesn't want somebody like me hanging out, or hell, even somebody like Scotty. Scotty's harmless, I'm pretty harmless. But how the hell is anybody going to know that? We're a bunch of dirty bikers camping in somebody's abandoned property. So there's that. There's the other thing that concerns me about easy access, and that's probably why Scotty uses these abandoned properties so much. Easy access, the road was paved at some point or flat at some point. So he knows he could probably get his bike in here and out without too many problems. And I understand that. That's a big problem for me with this big beast too. But the big thing that concerns me about abandoned properties or anything at the end of the road, they typically wind up being dump spots. Like somebody's got trash and they don't want to pay to take it to the dump. They'll come in here, like roofing shingles. My God, I've been through so many. I ride in the woods a lot, so I see some roofer didn't want to take his load and pay his whatever $30, $40, $50 to dump his roofing shingles, so he dumps them at the end of some dirt road, or in this case in some abandoned property. Roofing shingles not a problem, but roofing shingles have roofing nails in them, which love motorcycle tires. So any dump spots like this is probably going to wind up being a dump spot at some point. Hell, this is probably somebody's dumped wood they chopped up. So it's a pretty good example. Somebody just came in here and said, I gotta dump this stuff somewhere, so I'll just dump it down the street. So you got concerned neighbors. You're always close. And this is kind of weird. This is probably the only two people on this street that live on this street. But I bet there's a swing set over there. I bet he's not real excited about Scotty or me pulling up in here and throwing a tent out. So that means might get a call in the middle of the night. You know, the sheriff waking you up with a flashlight. I don't ever want to do that. So I would avoid this. 9 times out of 10, I would avoid this, even though it's a really good spot. But yeah, if it was further out, if I could get in and out without being seen, it's not a bad spot. There's no evidence of anybody being here, so it's not a bad spot. It's just, I've just got that typical unease with private property, anybody's private property. But I want to show you a few more things. I just wanted to talk about Scotty's technique and you know, maybe discuss abandoned houses as a spot. Well, that's going to do it for this first episode of stealth camping tips. I want to explore a few more of my ideas, but I wanted to get this one out of the way because I've been curious about houses, but I've got some reservations still. But I wanted to tell you about my reasons why I don't follow in Scotty's footsteps, number one, and maybe explore some of the reasons why I don't in the back of my head. But I've got a few more ideas that I want to throw at you in the future, and hopefully you'll stick around and take a look at those when I get finished with those. If you haven't hit the notification bell and you're a current subscriber, the notification bell will send you an email, some kind of a notification that will let you know when my videos come out. It might help. Otherwise, you depend on YouTube to present you with the videos that you might like, which I have found over the years that's been a really bad idea for me. I don't see the content that I want to see. I see what YouTube wants to present to me. So anyway, hit that notification bell. It's kind of hard to avoid those notifications. YouTube likes to send those out. I get all my notifications when I hit those bells. I get my notifications from the stuff I want to see. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.